So this is Philip Johnson. Some people probably don't know who he is because I just found this out and it came out in August of this year. Yeah, he was an architect back in like the 20s, 30s, 40s. I think he died in 2005. Yeah, and he was known. He built, and maybe he lived in a glass house. So he did a ton of big architecture in Dallas, and he built the Canada Broadcasting Network in Canada. And he was a Nazi sympathizer. Well, he went to Nazi rallies in Germany. Many. Like, I think he visited there. I want to say he had a house there. But yeah, he went there. He finally saw the error of his ways. But this was even during World War II. He was visiting there. He was going to Hitler's rallies. Then he was coming back here and promoting it. Then, like halfway through the war, he suddenly, it seems that he had a spiritual awakening. Not a spiritual one, but an awakening of some kind. And he realized the error of his ways, stopped that rhetoric, and seemed to try to atone for like he had donated to Jewish charities. But there was an FBI file on him. It's the FBI file. That's what I saw. I saw it on Truth Social. I'm like, wait, what is this? Because what it says in the red is Johnson wanted to be the Hitler in this country. There's so many of them. They're all tied to the same people, and it's to the Catholic Church. Not that he was directly, but somebody he was friends with. There he is. Yep, good old Jackie O. All the Nazis. All that a Europe problem. Yeah, so she was actually friends with him, and then they had some sort of falling out because he was going to write a book about her, but they didn't say what the falling out. It was about the book. I mean, maybe he was going to expose her as, a Nazi sympathizer too. I don't think that's a hard stretch, considering she's the reason that Kennedy got labeled as the Camelot, and that one of the biggest commanders of the SS, had a castle there in Germany named Camelot. That all of it connects. But they go way back, yeah. I mean, that's an older picture. So they were friends for a while. They say it's because she collaborated with him on some work that she wanted him to do. Philip Johnson, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Ed Cox. And that's, the same picture, but same problem. Same problem. It just seems like I seriously think that these people that have this, it comes so naturally to them to hate Jewish people and to favor that political party that I seriously think it's in their DNA. I do. Because there's no way I could ever get to that place where, I'm going to be a Nazi supporter. But you see this Nick Fuentes, the Tucker Carlsons, even though he likes to try to play this middle, it's like, just stop it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. And then the way they get around it is to say, we want to be isolationist country, never go into any foreign wars. Well, then you're a selfish Christian, so how do you call yourself a Christian? Because again, it goes back to this, that's why I think it's in the DNA. It's the same mentality that, like, if we would not have gone into World War II, they would have annihilated all the Jews. So you think that your country's going to prosper when you have people like that in your media and in your government? No, they're all part of the damn problem. That attitude. There he is with Trump. Is that Al Sharpton or is that, I don't know, it doesn't matter. So Trump he wasn't friends with him, but he had interactions with him because he was going to see about having him do some architect, something, build something for him. I think it was a castle. He wanted to have a castle built in Manhattan for Trump. And see, most people that hate Trump would be like, see, he's just like all of them. And it's like, I mean, it is amazing how he just happens to, but he said you need somebody on the inside. You can't take that system down unless you have somebody on the inside. He said that in his first term. So, I mean, this didn't surprise me, but the left would run with this, right? But he wasn't friends with him like Jackie O was. And there's, Rudy Giuliani. It must be some grand opening. Trump in there. There's the Nazi sympathizer himself. It's almost like Trump is the secret undercover agent all through his life or something. It's so bizarre. So the article came out in the Connecticut Centennial. Yeah, the new Canaan. Like, because Canaan's in the Old Testament. That was where they were Moloch and Baal worshiping, but that's also the promised land. It is. So, new Canaan architect Philip Johnson ranked number 8 in the new top 10 Nazi sympathizer videos. His glass house shown on Connecticut government tourism website. And this was the article where the FBI, document was. 1960 intelligence reports that Israel nuclear site was for weapons. Okay, so this site here, and I'll move in a minute. This was built, or the architect behind it was Philip Johnson. Israel says it was a nuclear research facility. However, and that he wasn't building anything for nuclear weapons. Eisenhower's the one that sent him on this. Like, he appointed him to do this for Israel. We are not a satellite of America. That was the angry response to U.S. questions about, because this is what Kennedy was doing. He was always wanting to know where's your nuke, Israel, and they wouldn't tell them. So what's important about this is we are not a satellite of America. There's been people that have said that Israel is there to protect America's interests, because then we have no eyes in the Middle East. And you may think, that's wrong, nobody said. But, I mean, if it's true, then you have to wonder, why do we have such hateful people trying to go after the lobby and go after Israel all the time in Congress and in our media? Why do we have that if it's something that protects America? Well, because those people may be Nazis. Nazis aren't interested in protecting America. That's how all these people came in. I mean, this Philip Johnson that was the architect behind this. Now, this was way after he atoned, basically, for his... He never had anything more to do with it, but he did get, like, that American bunt thing going here. He knew Jackie O. And then you add this one to the mix. I did videos about Father Charles Coughlin. Yeah, in the 30s, he had a radio show that was pushing that American bunt stuff. He was pushing all the fascism stuff so badly that the American broadcasting system took his show called The Golden Hour. They took him off. He had 30 million listeners. So think of the impact that has. Pro-Nazi Irish priest Father Coughlin was bigger than Tucker Carlson is today. It is an estimated more than 1/3 of all American adults heard his weekly radio attacks on Jewish conspiracies and his support for Nazi Germany. Yep, Catholic Church. That's who it is. And he was friends with Joe Kennedy. That's why I had done videos on Father Coughlin before. He was friends with Joe Kennedy. Joe Kennedy was more than just a Nazi sympathizer. Again, if he would have had his way, he was like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or Tucker. And those people would prefer that we never go into any wars. But had we not gone into World War II, our country would have never, no country would have made it to stand by and let an entire culture of people be annihilated. So those are selfish people that play Christian. We have a lot of people playing Christian